For this afternoon's review, we are going to take a look at gijoe classified series Sgt Stalker. So let's examine the contents of our purchase. We have the Sgt Stalker figure, the belt and the Y harness, we have holster, we have the knife sheath, we have 3 weapons on board. So we have a light machine gun and the associated ammo box. We have a submachine gun and the magazine. We have a sidearm or the pistol with its silencer, and we have a knife, spare knife. Actually, there's also a molded knife on the suspenders. So we have the trademark beret, shamag, and a rifle carrying case or a submachine gun carrying case. Let us do a visual 360 of the base action figure, because majority of the cash that we pay for this action figure is actually the action figure, not the accessories nor the box that is associated with it. So let us discuss articulation points on this action figure. So let's start with the head area or the head unit, so including the neck and the head sculpt. So just between the jawline and the neck, it's going to be a ball joint. Between the clavicle and the neck, we also have a ball joint, so greatly articulating head unit. So moving towards the body, we have a cut on the diaphragm for forward bends and backward bends. On the waistline, we also have a ball joint, which allows for rotational movement of the waistline, sideways movement of the waistline. Moving towards the arms of the figure, we have a cut on the bicep for rotation of the bicep. We have pinless articulation joints for the elbow, and they are 2-jointed system. We also have a hinge and circulation for the hand. So the base hands that comes with this figure are trigger finger hands. So you could either put weapons on the left or the right. So moving towards the leg of the figure, we have a cut on the thigh for rotation of the thigh. We also have 2 points of articulation for the knee, and they are pinless. We also have boot rotation, and for the foot we have a hinge and rocker motion. So this is how the figure looks with the shamag and the beret on. So let's do a visual 360 of these 2 accessories on the figure right now. Take note of how the shamag is molded onto the Y harness or the shoulder strap of the pistol belt and the shoulder line of the figure. It is really nicely molded, and as you could see, there is little gapping issues or no space issues at all. But overall impression and final thoughts on this shamag, the beret, I'm okay with that. It is a given for Sgt Stalker figure. But for the shamag, I think I'm going to reassign this piece with my gijoe classified series Outback figure, the Tiger Force version, which is still pending right now with Target. So I really don't know with that action figure why I still can't get it on hand. But I'm already excited to have it on board, because I already have this shamag to cover that Hello Kitty pattern on his orange shirt. So for the rest of the playtime and display time days of this action figure on board my collection, it's going to look this way. So let's start with the other accessories. So we have the knife. So these are the details on the bladed weapon of this action figure. But actually we still have another bladed weapon, which is just a molded piece attached to or molded onto the Y harness. And this has a sheath on the thigh, or a thigh sheath for the knife. And just take note of the curvature of the blade sheath for storage purpose. So let's take a look at the sidearm of Sgt Stalker. So old school 45 ACP or Colt 1911. So take note of the sights on this pistol. They are elevated front and rear sights. On the slide of the pistol, we also have serrations for manipulation of the slide. We also have an extended magazine for the pistol, which now extends the capacity or number of rounds that you could possibly load on your pistol. And it looks like this one has a sleeve or a magazine sleeve on it to aid in the proper feeding of the ammunition for the pistol, because without that sleeve it's going to be a feeding frenzy for the 1911, because the 1911 is a finicky pistol. If you don't really put in the right parts to it, it's not going to function properly. Since we have elevation on the front and rear sides, because of the presence of a flash and sound suppressor, it is flat, so not your traditional round suppressor. So majority of the baffles on the sound suppressor are on the bottom of the sound suppressor, which allows for easy sight picture even if we have raised sights. So this really increases the total length of the pistol once you put it on the action figure. But the inclusion of the suppressor is really a nice thing. And we have a hole on the end of the suppressor, and also a hole that is deep enough on the barrel to attach any point of muzzle or flash device or for firing effect. But of course, that's not going to be needed if you're going to put on the flash or sound suppressor. So this is how the pistol and the sound suppressor is stored on the thigh holster. So take note on the holster, because we don't have the end of the pistol or the slide or the barrel peeking through the holster, and the trigger guard is also nicely hidden or stored away in the holster. So as for the design team this time with this action figure, really great work. So just like the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Officer, this Sgt Stalker figure has also weapon storage on a back saddle. This is how this back saddle attaches to the back of the figure. So the Y harness has a corresponding hole, and we also have a hole on the back of the figure. So just align those two holes and peg the saddle in. And take a look at the details that is still present on the submachine gun saddle. So MOLLE attachments, we have a pouch for the magazine, and we still have a lot of strap work and details and stitch work on this saddle. So it's a really nice, great piece. So let's take a look at the submachine gun that rests on this back saddle. So covering the magazine of the submachine gun first, the giveaway that this is an HNK would be the design of the upper receiver and the lower receiver, especially the fire controls. Those fire controls which are present on an HNK variety of firearm. especially the giveaway on the type of sights that was used, except on the barrel area, because we have that is already a G.I. Joe classified series thing, wherein they attached a muzzle device or a muzzle brake for the barrel. But on the other side, that is a giveaway, this is an HNK. Of course, the type of stock would depend on the operator what kind of stock he's going to attach to it. But the magazine is detachable and it has ridges on the side for grappling issues or for controllability. So let's take a look at the last accessory or the last weapon that is associated with this figure, or possibly its main battle armament, which is a light machine gun. So we have a feed box with nicely painted exposed cartridges to it. And by the looks of this light machine gun, even if we have a lot of bling to it, it actually feels like, smells like, looks like a Stoner 63 or 63A. Well, so Stoner 63 because the feed system is going to be on the left side. For the 63A, it's going to be on the right side. So with the feed box attached, this really looks like, feels like, smells like a Stoner light machine gun, which was widely employed by special forces, especially the Navy SEALs during the Vietnam War. Now we have the figure on a T pose, because let's take a look at the shoulder or the Y strap system and the pistol belt. So the pistol belt, we don't have any attachments on the pistol belt, even on the back. So that is really an empty pistol belt. We only have attachments on the Y harness. So we have a pocket possible for a strobe or possibly a tourniquet. We have a molded in knife, but we have a knife that the figure could hold on to. We also have a smoke grenade, and we have possibly an ammunition pouch for the submachine gun or the pistol, that is unknown. So the only gripe that I have with this figure would be the loss of any type of pockets or storage on the pistol belt. You could possibly put all or just cut off the strap systems and glue on the pistol holster and the knife onto the belt to really fill the pistol belt up, because right now it really feels really weirdly empty. Between these two systems, weapon systems, of course you're going to really display this Stalker action figure with this submachine gun, I mean. So rendering this piece of saddle equipment useless or redundant. So that space is going to be empty. But if you have backpacks like this from G.I. Joe Classified Series Snake Eyes, or possibly a Valverse backpack, then you could fill that void up. So that way the pistol belt and the Y harness now has a use, which would carry the total weight of all of the things that is in this backpack. So on a scale of 10, personally this figure for me is a 10 out of 10. So I only have 0.01 issues with this action figure, if that 0.01 really counts, because the belt system you could really just customize that later, putting on a little bit of pouches or possibly grenades from other 1:12 scale accessories or loose accessories that you have on board. But basically, when you take this figure out of packaging, if you are a gun guy, you're really going to love this action figure. Or if you are a traditionalist G.I. Joe collector who loves the military look of the G.I. Joe team, you're going to love this figure, because we don't have any of those flashy, shiny armor parts that were first issued on the G.I. Joe Classified series, Duke and other action figures like the Gung Ho and Roadblock. But with this is the G.I. Joe Stalker that you wish for. So if you really like a Stalker figure in 1:12 form, this is it. Accessories and weapons, 10 out of 10. So this is the end of my review with this G.I. Joe Classified series Sgt Stalker. So if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure review.